Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio. Hopefully you enjoyed your extra hour of sleep. I have a feeling we're going to need it. That's because we're just 2 days away from the end of voting in the 2020 election. I say the end of voting because clearly we have been voting early in the state for close to 4 weeks. As a result, though, by the time the polls close at 7:30 on Tuesday night, we could know how more than half of Ohio has voted by 8 o'clock that night. A couple of housekeeping notes. In-person voting continues this afternoon at your local Board of Elections office from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And remember, tomorrow, in-person early voting ends at 2 p.m. If you are voting by mail, also remember, Election Day may be Tuesday, November 3rd, but your ballot must be postmarked by tomorrow, November 2nd. So if you can't get a postmark by tomorrow, your only other option is to return it to your county board of elections and put it in one of those secure drop boxes. They will be open until the polls close at 7:30 on Election Day. And while we're on the subject, these are the hours for in-person voting at your polling place on Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. And while having enough poll workers was a major concern over the last few months, in the last few days, it is not. Poll workers.
Hi, how are you? Driver's license? Thank you.
They are the neighbors who guide you through the voting process each election day.
Any station behind you and then over to the scanners by the stage.
Historically, they tend to be older, retired, those more at risk in a pandemic. If they didn't feel comfortable returning this election, that was understandable, but Secretary of State Frank LaRose said they needed to know.
You don't want to be in that situation where having somebody that doesn't show up to work on Tuesday morning, November 3rd, you need to have somebody to call to fill that place. And so you want to have a trained and ready workforce ready to go.
So LaRose gave the state's 88 counties a recruitment goal, and it wasn't just to fill the 37,000 positions needed to open the polls.
We've told the boards of elections they have to recruit 150 times their normal number. So if you had 150% of their normal number, if you normally have 1,000 poll workers for your county, you really need to have 1,500 trained and ready to go this year.
To help, the state went after veterans with a second call to duty appeal, high school seniors with Youth at the Booth, nonprofits looking for a way to fundraise, accountants and lawyers who can use their work at the polls for continuing education credits. They even got Ohio brewers to put appeals on the back of beer cans. And they put each county's numbers out there on a poll worker tracker.
This is an accountability tool. I'm not hiding from that. You can see which counties are doing well. You can see which counties are a little bit behind. If that'll provide some motivation to catch up, well, then that's fine.
The result being a new record for committed poll workers.
The fact that we've had tens of thousands of Ohioans that have come to our website and signed up to be a poll worker, and that those folks are being trained by our county boards of elections as we speak, is awesome.
And if you are among the 56,000 plus that signed up, we say thank you. Well, over the course of the past couple of months, this has been called by some a partisan pandemic, where what you believe and the actions you take are greatly determined by where you live and the channels you watch. As coronavirus cases spiked this week in the state, we saw a little bit of that in the data and wondered, could this impact day of voting?
I think every Ohioan needs to be alarmed by what we are seeing.
Governor Mike DeWine Tuesday listing the top 20 counties in the state ranked by the highest rates of coronavirus occurrence.
Some of the very, very high incident counties are just literally off the charts.
To give you an idea of where those counties are located, we highlighted them on this map with the letter C on each. In looking at it, though, we found this map had similarities to another we showed you last week, and that is the map of the 30 counties that President Trump won with 70% or more of the vote in 2016. 11 of those counties are seeing the highest rate of spread, including number 3 on the governor's list, Mercer County, which gave the president his highest Ohio margin of victory 4 years ago with 80% of the vote. We point that out because surveys have shown Republican voters are less inclined to vote by mail. 17% of Trump supporters in an ABC News poll last month said they preferred to vote by mail compared to 54% of Biden voters. News 5 political analyst Tom Sutton says on that, we could see a COVID change.
Given these spikes, we may see a slight shift in that of people to vote earlier because of the spike in the coronavirus in these counties and really throughout Ohio.
On the flip side, with just 2 days to go, more than 2.7 million votes are already in Ohio. That's equal to nearly half of all the people that voted in 2016. As a result,
there are also some people who are looking at this. Maybe they're going back and forth about whether they're going to vote early and thinking, okay, just to that point, if a lot of people have already voted, then maybe going on Election Day might actually be fairly safe. There won't be nearly as much turnout on Election Day itself.
All right, so what is it we'll be looking for early on Tuesday night? First and foremost, what's taking place in the pivot counties? These are the 9 counties in the state that went twice for Barack Obama in 08 and 12 and then switched to Donald Trump in 2016. 8 of those 9 counties are here in northern Ohio. Who was winning those counties, and how did the percentages stack up against 2016? And here's the thing to keep in mind. They're pivot counties, yes, but they're not bellwethers, because 5 of them went for Donald Trump by twice the margin he won the state with. There was one exception. Wood County, outside of Toledo, nearly matched the final statewide vote, off by just 0.1%. We'll also be looking at counties like Lorain. This is a county Donald Trump won on Election Day, but when the final results came in 3 weeks later and all the votes were counted, the provisional and the late absentees, we saw what's called the blue shift kick in, and Hillary Clinton ended up carrying it by just 131 votes out of more than 133,000 cast. Another reminder that whoever you support, every vote counts. With Democracy 2020, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday. Stay safe.